Welcome back in part 4 of BBC.
In 2002, several television and radio channels were reorganized.
BBC Knowledge was replaced by BBC4 and became the BBC's Arts and Documentaries channel.
CBBC, which had been a programming strand as children's BBC since 1985, was split into CBBC and CBeebies for younger children, with both news services getting a digital channel, the CBBC channel and CBeebies channel.
In addition to the television channels, new digital radio stations were created, 1 Extra, 6 Music and BBC 7.
BBC 1 Extra was a sister station to Radio 1 and specialized in modern black music. BBC 6 Music specialized in alternative music genres, and BBC 7 specialized in archive, speech and children's programming. The following few years resulted in repositioning of some channels to conform to a larger brand. In 2003, BBC Choice was replaced by BBC 3, with programming for younger adults and shocking real-life documentaries. BBC News 24 became the BBC News channel in 2008, and BBC Radio 7 became BBC Radio 4 Extra in 2011, with new programs to supplement those broadcasts on Radio 4.
In 2008, another channel was launched, BBC Alba, a Scottish Gaelic service.
During this decade, the corporation began to sell off a number of its operational divisions to private owners. BBC Broadcast was spun off as a separate company in 2002, and in 2005, it was sold off to Australian-based Macquarie Capital Alliance Group and Macquarie Bank Limited and rebranded Red D Media.
The BBC's IT, telephony and broadcast technology were brought together as BBC Technology Limited in 2001, and the division was later sold to the German company Siemens IT Solutions and Services, SIS.
SIS was subsequently acquired from Siemens by the French company Atos.
Further divestments included BBC Books, sold to Random House in 2006, BBC Outside Broadcasts Limited, sold in 2008 to Satellite Information Services. Costumes and Wigs, stock sold in 2008 to Angels the Costumiers, and BBC Magazines, sold to Immediate Media Company in 2011.
After the sales of OBs and costumes, the remainder of BBC Resources was reorganized as BBC Studios and Post-Production, which continues today as a wholly owned subsidiary of the BBC. The 2004 Hutton inquiry and the subsequent report raised questions about the BBC's journalistic standards and its impartiality.
This led to resignations of senior management members at the time, including the then Director General, Greg Dyke.
In January 2007, the BBC released minutes of the board meeting, which led to Greg Dyke's resignation. Unlike the other departments of the BBC World Service was funded by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office.
The Foreign and Commonwealth Office, more commonly known as the Foreign Office or the FCO, is the British government department responsible for promoting the interests of the United Kingdom abroad.
A strike in 2005 by more than 11,000 BBC workers over a proposal to cut 4,000 jobs and to privatize parts of the BBC disrupted much of the BBC's regular programming. In 2006, BBC HD launched as an experimental service and became official in December 2007.
The channel broadcast HD simulcasts of programs on BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three and BBC Four, as well as repeats of some older programs in HD.
In 2010, an HD simulcast of BBC One launched, BBC One HD.
The channel uses HD versions of BBC One schedule and uses upscaled versions of programs not currently produced in HD.
The BBC HD channel closed in March 2013 and was replaced by BBC 2 HD in the same month. On 18 October 2007, BBC Director General Mark Thompson announced a controversial plan to make major cuts and reduce the size of the BBC as an organization.
The plans included a reduction in posts of 2,500, including 1,800 redundancies, consolidating news operations, reducing programming output by 10% and selling off the flagship television centre building in London.
These plans were fiercely opposed by unions, who threatened a series of strikes. However, the BBC stated that the cuts were essential to move the organization forward and concentrate on increasing the quality of programming. On 20 October 2010, the Chancellor of the Exchequer George Osborne announced that the television license fee would be frozen at its current level until the end of the current charter in 2016.
The same announcement revealed that the BBC would take on the full cost of running the BBC World Service and the BBC Monitoring Service from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office and partially finance the Welsh broadcaster S4C.
Further cuts were announced on 6 October 2011, so the BBC could reach a total reduction in their budget of 20% following the license fee freeze in October 2010. Which included cutting staff by 2,000 and sending a further 1,000 to the Media City UK development in Salford, with BBC 3 moving online only in 2016, the sharing of more programs between stations and channels. Sharing of radio news bulletins, more repeats in schedules, including the whole of BBC 2 daytime and for some original programming to be reduced.
BBC HD was closed on 26 March 2013 and replaced with an HD simulcast of BBC 2. However, flagship programs, other channels and full funding for CBBC and CBBS would be retained.
Numerous BBC facilities have been sold off, including new broadcasting house on Oxford Road in Manchester.
Many major departments have been relocated to Broadcasting House in central London and Media City UK in Salford, particularly since the closure of BBC Television Centre in March 2013.
On 16 February 2016, the BBC 3 television service was discontinued and replaced by a digital outlet under the same name, targeting its young adult audience with web series and other content. Under the new Royal Charter, instituted in 2017, the corporation must publish an annual report to Ofcom outlining its plans and public service obligations for the next year.
In its 2017 to 18 report, released July 2017, the BBC announced plans to reinvent its output to better compete against commercial streaming services such as Netflix.
These plans included increasing the diversity of its content on television and radio, a major increase in investments towards digital children's content, and plans to make larger investments in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland to rise to the challenge of better reflecting and representing a changing UK.
Since 2017, the BBC has also funded the local democracy reporting service with up to 165 journalists employed by independent news organizations to report on local democracy issues on a pooled basis.
In 2016, the BBC Director General Tony Hall announced a savings target of £800 million per year by 2021, which is about 23% of annual license fee revenue.
Having to take on the £700 million cost for free TV licenses for the over 75 pensioners and rapid inflation in drama and sport coverage costs was given as the reason.
To duplication of management and content spending would be reduced, and there would be a review of BBC News.
In 2020, the BBC announced a BBC News savings target of £80 million per year by 2022, involving about 520 staff reductions.
The BBC's Director of News and Current Affairs, Fred Unsworth, said there would be further moves toward digital broadcasting, in part to attract back a youth audience, and more pooling of reporters to stop separate teams covering the same news.
In 2020, the BBC reported a £119 million deficit because of delays to cost reduction plans. And the forthcoming ending of the remaining £253 million funded towards pension or license fees would increase financial pressures.
In January 2021, it was reported that former banker Richard Sharp would succeed David Clementi as chairman when he stepped down in February. In March, the BBC was at the center of a political row with football pundit Gary Lineker after Lineker made comments on social media comparing the British government's proposed policy to that of the Nazis.
After the comments, Lineker was suspended from his position on Match of the Day before being reinstated after receiving overwhelming support from his colleagues.
The scandal was made worse due to the connections between BBC's chairman, Richard Sharp, and the Conservative Party. In April 2023, Richard Sharp resigned as chairman after a report found he did not disclose potential perceived conflicts of interest in his role in the facilitation of a loan to Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
He will stay in the role until June 2023, when a replacement will be named.
Dame Claus Stevens was appointed as acting chairwoman on 27 June 2023. She will lead the BBC board for 12 months or until a new permanent chair has been appointed, whichever is sooner. We will continue about BBC in part 5. To be continued.